Okay, cool. So let's get started. You're gonna get warmed up. Feet are gonna come together, toes pointed forward. We're gonna open and close. I'm gonna even move up to you guys. Open, close. So you just go from toes pointed forward and feet together to those open feet, heels together, okay? So we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're staying in first position. The heels are together, toes are apart. We're gonna lift and lower. Lift, lower. Just trying to squeeze the calves on the way up. Come into our releve and back down. We got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So I'm going to step the feet apart. I'll actually move my mat so that I'm on even ground here. So we're stepping the feet apart in the second position. So heels are lined up with the hips. Toes are pointed out. Heels are pointed in. We're just going to come down and then lift back up. Down and lift. So every time I lift, I'm squeezing my glutes at that straight leg. Starting really simple today. Down and lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So we'll do 2 pulses. We'll go 1, 2, and lift. 1, 2, lift. I'm always squeezing at the top. 1, 2, squeeze. 1, 2, squeeze. We got 4 more like this. 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to stay down for 4, 3, 2, and lift. And down, 2, 3, and lift. 4, 3, 2, and lift. 4, 3, 2, and lift. Awesome. So I'm going to bring the arms down. We're going to straighten one leg, then the other. I'm reaching, opening up the side of the body, and then I'll come back to center. Knees are both bent, and then I straighten my opposite leg. Reach, come back to center. Reach, center, reach, center. Got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. We'll take one more big deep breath in, and we'll exhale, drop it forward. Little hamstring stretch. If you can't reach the ground, that's fine. Go ahead and hover. And then if it feels good, you can just sway the hips side to side right here for me. And then from here, we'll roll it all the way back up. Awesome. So we're going to get into our balance work. Again, like I said, sorry, I got hair everywhere. If you need the wall, it's a great prop for today's workout. But if you don't have that where you're working out, you can always grab a chair or a countertop or whatever. Just make sure it's sturdy. So I'm going to just turn to the side so you can see a little bit better. And we'll start with our flamingo. So I'm taking my right toe up to my left knee, and in terms of hand positioning, it's up to you. So I prefer usually to keep my hands on my hips, but a lot of people will reach them out in front, and other people will take them up behind their ears. It's really up to you. But we'll take our flamingo up like this, core is pulled in, I'm opening my chest, and then we'll tip it forward and we'll reach the leg out, okay? So I'm reaching my leg back, toe is pointed. I know you guys can't see that in the camera, I'll turn it a little bit. So modifier, if that's too much, you can open that toe on the ground and maybe you just come back and take the toe back behind you, all right? Still attached to the mat, and then I come up, all right? Core is still engaged, chest is still open. So we've got 8 on each side, taking it to whatever position you're starting in, and we go forward, reach that leg, and then we squeeze, we come back up to standing, that's 1, and we reach, and we come back up to standing, 2, we reach, and back up, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one right here, and 8. Awesome. So you can kind of roll through that other ankle here a second if you need to, starting right back to center, and then we'll go other side. So toe comes up to the knee or down to the ground, and we come back and up. This is a great time to have that wall if you need it. Back and up. This is 3. One side might be a little bit more wobbly than the other. That's normal. This is 4. Lift. 5. Lift. 6. 7. And last one. Come all the way back up. Nice job. Awesome. And if you need to, just roll that other ankle and we come back to center. So our next balance move is one that we usually do as a stretch, and you can always use your wall if you need to. So I will face you for starters just to show you. We're going to take our right foot into our right hand. Now, when I come into this quad stretch, I really want to make sure I'm protecting my knees. So instead of coming out like this, I always want to be trying to draw the knees in towards one another and have that knee pointing down towards the ground instead of out and away, okay? So just be mindful of positioning and posture. Now, if this is enough of a challenge for you, you can always stay right here in quad stretch. But if you'd like, you can join me in dancer stretch. So I'm gonna extend that opposite hand, and I'll take my foot to the inside of the hand and press the top of the foot into my hand. So I'm getting a little bit of a stretch through the shoulder and chest. And I'm reaching with that opposite arm. If you just fall over, you come right back in. No worries. And I've always got that slight bend through my standing knee. And then from here, we'll just take it down. Nice job. Other side. So same thing. We start in that quad stretch. Knees are in together here. I'm going to scooch back in order to stretch that arm out. So I'm reaching with that opposite arm, changing my positioning of my hand, and pressing the top of the foot into the hand. And always we're breathing. Stop, and we'll slowly release. Awesome. So we're going to stand forward here, and we're going to do a little bit of a glute and hip opener. That's also going to work on balance. So starting with my feet together, I'll take my right foot forward, toe pointed, and then I'm going to cross the ankle over that opposite knee. Okay? So it looks like this to start. Hands can either be on the hips or out in front of you for balance. We're just going to sink into it. So while we're here, I'm trying to put all of my weight back into my heel, just like in a squat. So I want to be pushing my glutes back. Again, you can always grab your wall. You're going to be able to get a little deeper, okay? And if you need a little bit more through that hip and glute, you can always gently press on the leg, okay? Not on the knee. Right on the inner thigh. And then we'll come up, we'll switch sides. So pointing the left toe, the left toe forward, crossing it over the opposite knee. And we'll start by sinking into it. And always take the hands on the legs. Just assist in that extra little stretch. And then one more deep breath. And we'll stand it up. Awesome. Let's just do a little stretch before we transition. So I'm going to take the arms up. Inhale, exhale. We'll dive forward, reaching towards the toes. And then from here, we're just going to slowly roll it back up to standing. Awesome. So I'm just going to shift my mat. If you haven't gotten your mat out already, you're going to want to do that. If I need to transition our camera, I will, but for right now, it should be okay. So let's bring that back. So I'm going to start at the top of my mat. Heels together, toes together. So the toes are pointed forward. And we're going to lift the arms up. Okay, big inhale. And now on my exhale, I'm going to draw my elbows back, just like a goal post. So I'm opening through the chest, palms face out, away from me. And then I'm going to reach the arms back up. And one more time. Come back into that goal post. So really opening the chest. And we come back up. From here, we're going to dive forward. So reaching towards our toes. And then we'll walk our hands out into our plank. So in this plank, my hands are lined up with my shoulders. And for me, I'm going to take my knees down to the ground, okay? So for our tricep push-up, if you can keep your elbows in nice and close to your body here like this, you can stay up off the knees. But you want to join me on the knees to make sure that those elbows stay pulled in, go ahead and do that. So we do one tricep push-up down, and then we come back up, and I'll curl my toes under and press into my down dog. And then again, I come into plank, I drop my knees, I do a tricep push-up, come back up, and I press back into down dog. So my heels are going down towards my mat. I'm lifting my tailbone, last time. So we come into plank first. Drop the knees if you need to. Tricep push up down. Press it back up. And back into down dog. Now from here, I'm just going to walk my hands back in towards my feet. We're in that forward fold again. And we just roll it all the way back up to standing. Awesome. So same thing all over again. So we lift and we open into that goal post. And we reach. Inhale and reach. Exhale into that goal post. And then inhale up. Exhale, dive forward. Take a second here, and then we'll walk it out into plank. And if you need to, you drop the knees. We drop into that tricep push-up. Press back up. Curl the toes under and press back into down dog. 2 more like that. So I come forward. Tricep push-up. Press up. Down dog. Last one. Forward. Drop knees. Down. Lift. And down dog. So staying in down dog here for a second. And then we'll slowly walk the hands back towards the feet. And we'll roll it all the way up. Last time here, so we're going to lift, inhale. Exhale, goal post. Really open that chest. This is the last time through this sequence. And then we reach. And exhale, lower the arms, open the chest. Reach, inhale. Exhale, dive forward. Take a second in that forward fold. Find some length through the spine. Stretching the back of the legs, and then we'll walk the hands slowly forward. Hands line up with the shoulders. We're in plank. If you need to, you drop the knees, and we come down into our first push-up. Press it back up, roll the toes under, and press it back into our down dog. And again, we come forward into plank, coming into that tricep push-up down, up, and press back. And last one, we come forward, push up, lift, and into down dog. And we're going to stay right here this time in our down dog. So if it feels good, you can walk the legs here in down dog. So I'm just going to bend one knee and then the other. Still trying to lift my hips and tailbone up towards the ceiling and press my chest forward towards my mat, right through my arms. So I'm really trying to lengthen out my spine. And if it feels better to just hold, you can always do that as well. We're going to take one more big deep breath in. Exhale that breath out of the mouth. All right. So in this position, I'm going to make sure I've got room here a second. And then I'm going to take my right leg up. Okay, toes pointed. I'm just lengthening out through that leg. And then I'll take it back down. Right back in the down dog. Same thing on the other side. I lift that left leg, toes pointed, really lengthen out. And then back down. We've got 2 more like that. Lift the right. Keep that toe pointed for me. And down. Last time, left leg. Lift. And lower. So we're going to just bend the knees, bring them down to the mat, and we'll press back into our first child pose. So really reach those arms forward. Take a big deep breath. Now, as we go into the next move, if you need to just stick with that lifting and lowering of the leg, you're more than welcome to do that. We always start with the kind of first modification of everything so that you have the option to always go back to that. So we're gonna come right back up into down dog. So I lift, trying to lift that tailbone up, press my chest through my arms. And then from here, I'm gonna lift my right leg. If you need to stay here, you can. But I'm gonna bend my knee, and then I'm gonna drop my foot over to the left side of my body, okay? So it's just a really nice opening through the hip, and you might even feel it a little bit in the side of your body, your obliques, your hip flexors definitely. And if this is too much, again, you can always go back to that straight reaching leg. But from here, we're gonna come back to center and recenter, and then take that left leg up, toe points, you bend the knee, and then drop the foot over. And then you come back and bring it back to that down dog. And from here, we drop the knees and press it back into child's pose. Awesome. Okay, so from here, I'm going to bring you guys down with me just so you can see a little better. We're going to come onto our backs. So stick on your mat here. Now I will find a place where you'll be able to see. Put it right here. Okay. Oops. All right. So I'm going to lay down on my back. And before we get into any of it, we want to be making sure, let's check a little bit. We want to be making sure that we're engaging our core and pulling the belly button in towards the spine. So I really don't ever want there to be space in between my lower back and the mat. So if you try to stick your hand back there, that's a really good indication if you need to pull in and make sure that that back is flat on your mat, okay? So we'll start there. I've got my feet on the ground, knees are bent. I'm gonna just lay my arms next to me here. We're gonna lift into our bridge. So squeezing the glutes, core is pulled in, and then we'll bring it back down nice and slow. And again, we lift, take it up, and then we're gonna slowly lower it back down. Moving nice and slow, so lift, squeeze, 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 and we lower back down. Let's do 4 more like that. Lift, lower it down. This is 3, squeezing at the top, lower it down. Last 2, lower it down. And last one. So I want you to stay lifted right here for me. And we're just gonna squeeze through the glutes, and then we're gonna move the arms. So I'm gonna take both arms up over my head, reach up above me, and then I'll draw that half circle all the way back down so that my fingertips point towards my heels. Keeping that booty lifted or engaged. Again, be nice and slow with the arms. Reach. And come back. Reach. We've got 4 more. Back. 3. 2. last one. And come back, and you can slowly lower back down. Now, little stretch. Just bring those knees in towards the chest. You would like to space side to side a little bit if that feels good. And then from here, we're going to come up into our tabletop position. So still lying on the back, I'm just bringing my legs to 90 degrees here. And this just a little bit so you guys can see a little better with what my finger's doing. So again, keeping the core pulled in, lower back is flat on the mat. I'm just gonna lay my hands next to me here, and I'm pointing my toes. I'll drop one foot down, come back up, opposite, comes down, comes back up. So we're just alternating sides, keeping the core engaged, keeping those toes pointed. One side, other. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one on both sides. And we come back to that 90-degree angle in both legs here. I'm gonna take my legs together and I'm gonna keep them sealed shut here. I'm keeping that 90-degree angle, so got that corner going on. If you need to, you can take your hands out a little bit wider, because what we're gonna do next is come over to the side and then back to center, over to the other side and back to center. So I'm really only going to about 45 degrees on either side, because I want to make sure that my shoulders stay attached to my mat. Okay, so we're getting rid of those obliques. We come over to one side and back up, and then the other side, rotation, come back up. Here we go. One. And the other. And if this is too much, you can always lower that range of motion. So maybe instead of 45-degree angles on both sides, maybe you take it down to 30, you 25 degrees. Just making sure both shoulders stay attached to your mat. And we're going to do 8 more. So we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Coming back up, you can hug in those knees to your chest. And then we'll come back down. So we are going to go right back up into your tabletop. This time we're going to be reaching with the arms. So as I straighten out my left leg, my right arm is going to reach. Okay, I'm going to come back to center. Same thing on the other side. Left arm to right leg and come back. So if it's too much to do that with the legs straightening and alternating like that, you can always reach to one side, reach to the other with no legs. Okay, so we're going to reach and come center. Reach and center. Making sure that lower back stays flat on your mat. Reach. Reach. Your last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Go ahead and bring the knees in. And then from here, we're going to extend the legs out. Okay? So this would be the time when you can bring that lower back up off the mat. We're going to bring the arms up. So elongating through the spine, opening up the rib cage, reaching the fingertips and the toes. And then from here, I'm just going to take my right knee in towards my chest, pulling it in gently. If it feels good and you want to rotate your ankle around, you can. And then from here, I'm going to take my hand to the outside of the leg and I'll just cross over my body. If you're really lucky, you'll get a little spinal adjustment. And we come back to center. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm taking my left knee in now. Same thing, you can rotate the ankle. Find what feels good. And then from here, I'm taking my hand to the outside of the knee, crossing over the body. Then from here, we're going to come back to center. So we're going to do a little hip opener. I'm going to take my feet together and let my knees drop out to the side. So if your hips or hip flexors are really tight and this feels uncomfortable, you can always take your hands out to the outside of your legs and just kind of let your legs sit in your hands. So it's not so much pressure from gravity pulling you down there. But if it feels good to just let them kind of open up and just lay your hands on the belly or out to the sides, up to you. Just like our butterfly stretch, just laying down. This is a great one if you do have really tight hips or hip flexors and you're trying to open up a little bit. If you have yoga blocks at home, that also works really well to kind of just place underneath your legs. So we'll take one more big deep breath here. And then we'll exhale. And we're going to take the hands to the outsides of the legs if they're not already there. And I'm just going to gently pull the knees in together. So we'll do a little counter stretch. So I keep my knees in together and then I take my feet out to the outsides of my mat or just a little wider than they were before, depending on how tight you are. So I'm just dropping my knees in towards one another. You're going to feel this more through the outsides of your hips, maybe into the outer part of your glutes as well. Great. And then we'll just pull those knees in one more time. And we're going to draw a little circle with the knees. So I'll start at the top. Knees are kind of pointed up. And I'll just take them around to one side, pull in, and then back up. And then I'll reverse, so going down and around to the other side. Doesn't have to be a huge circle. Going in and going around. In and around. If you want to make it a little bit bigger, you can. Around. Do two more. And last one right here. Pulling the knees in. I'm going to take my hands behind my knees and then I'll roll myself up to seated. And we'll face each other here. So sitting up nice and tall, just crossing my legs. We're going to do a little twist. So I'm going to take both arms up. And I'm going to create a little Y shape with my arms. And then from here, I'm just going to twist my body and hook that outside arm right past my knee. So I'm twisting, sitting up tall. And then we'll come back to center. Lift those arms up again, reaching the fingertips, and then same thing other side. We're just twisting. And if you can't get that arm all the way over, that's fine. No worries. And then we'll take it back up to center. Awesome. So I'm going to reach my arms forward towards you, reaching my fingertips as far forward as I can. And I'll just look down at the ground here. So I'm trying to keep both of my sit bones on my mat, meaning I'm not lifting up one side or elevating both sides. I'm trying to stay anchored to my mat here. And then we'll walk the hands back. And we're going to lift up into that wide shape again. And then we're going to bring the arms down behind us. And I'll lift the chest. Just crossing the fingertips into the mat behind me. And then we'll come back to center. Awesome. So we're just going to switch our legs up, getting into that other hip. So you just switch them around. We'll do the same thing. So making that Y. And we reach forward. Trying to keep both of those sit bones on your mat. Reach those fingertips. Look down at the floor. And then we'll walk the hands in. Big Y again. And then we bring the arms down behind us and press the chest up and open. Awesome. And we'll come back to center. Hands can just rest on your knees. Now, we're going to make a little circle. Oftentimes, this one's called the coffee grinder. So I'll start back, pulling my belly button in, and I'll come around towards my right knee, and then come forward, and then I come all the way around back to that starting point, and then we'll go the other way. So coming around towards the left knee first, pressing the chest forward, and back in. One more time, both sides. Coming forward, nice and slow. Trying to keep those hips on your mat still. Last one. Forward. And back. And we'll sit up nice and tall. We're going to take a deep breath in. And we'll exhale, bring it over to the right side. And then lift. And reach over to the left. One more time, both sides. So we're going to take it back up to center and reach. Back up and reach. And back in. Inhale. Exhale it down, and you guys are all set.